5 hours earlier. As a designer, work can be really boring. I often sit for days on drafts and designs, and when it gets too boring, I start to procrastinate. And what do I see on my favorite channel? A guy called Jörg. He's a real German legend and builds crazy slingshots out of scrap wood. And I like that too. But Jörg only ever builds one model of the slingshot.
So now the obvious question, will you release the blueprints and so on? Well, as always, there are no blueprints. I don't use blueprints, I sketch everything directly to the wood.
But wait a minute, I'm a designer and I know how to make blueprints. But let's take a little trip first to get some ammo and some materials. And where you can get the best ammo for free? You already know where to get it. Let's grab some pencils at the next IKEA. They are mostly for free if you don't overdo it. And then let's take a trip to the hardware store and buy some plywood. I buy large sheets of plywood to save some money and then cut them into small pieces with my circular saw. And if you don't have a circular saw, you can of course also buy smaller sheets. I also need 2 6mm hardwood rods because I don't want to use screws to avoid problems with the metal detector at the airport during my next vacation trip. But first, of course, I have to create the blueprint, or what I call it, the CAD data. Let's keep it short. I need a gun body, the cocking lever, a trigger, and of course a slide for cocking. And my pencil shooter is ready. Okay, I used the circular saw to cut the wood into small pieces, but should I really get my office dirty with a jigsaw and cordless screwdriver? Let's go the nerdy and modern way and do some woodworking with this thing. This is the Xtool S1 diode laser with the 40-watt module. I just stick the suction hose out of the office door and off we go. I can cut the shapes out of the wood using my cut files. It's just as easy as printing a picture on a piece of paper. What I really like about the S1 is the honeycomb bed with the magnetic holders, which hold the workpiece perfect in place. The operation is super easy as the S1 is controlled via the Xtool Creative Space software. I just have to place the material in the laser, select the right material in the software, and the laser automatically measures the thickness of the workpiece with a sensor. Then all I have to do is define the working area with the help of a red crosshair. And with 2 clicks I have recorded the working area on the software and can now frame it again for checking purposes. Then I just have to press process and press the start button on the laser. The S1 is supplied with air assist, which is automatically activated by the Xtool Creative Space. All I have to do now is sit back and enjoy the laser show. The S1 takes over all the cutting work for me and I can take out precisely fitting parts. Now begins the fun part of putting all these parts together and gluing them. I cut some bolts from the hardwood sticks with which I can attach the trigger and cocking lever. The shooter itself contains of 3 layers, 10mm plywood in the middle and 6mm plywood on the outsides. And I have to mount also a piece in front where I can attach the rubber band. Both the body and the sled have grooves so I can attach bolts and the sled is able to slide. Now I have to attach rubber bands to the cock and to the sled to make the shooter functional. I have to attach also rubber bands to the loading mechanism and attach the main rubber band which shoots the pencils. And last thing to do is load the ammo, the IKEA pencils, and now it's time for fun. Yeah, bang boom bang! And in a few seconds you can see me realizing that I'm not an engineer but just a little idiot. But what went wrong? My design had some major construction issues. The housing for the cocking lever was too big, so I had to make it smaller. The pens were pushed backwards in the barrel and blocked the trigger, so I had to fit the stopper in the barrel, and in general the barrel was also too big. The radial loading mechanism was also a huge mistake and the pens got stuck in the magazine. So as I said, I'm not an engineer and have to learn the hard way how to design these things. I built Jörg's original design with the vertical loading mechanism and changed all my mistakes in the CAD file. It's easy to cut out everything again with the Xtool laser. That's the advantage of a modern machine. I press a button and after a few minutes I have all the modified parts in my hands again. To celebrate my success, I got out some spray cans and decided to paint the pencil shooter in the matching IKEA colors. And here it is in all its glory. And now, fire! Yeah, and now?
So now the obvious question, will you release the blueprints and so on?
Yes, of course, I will release the blueprints, and I have to thank all my Patreons because you make these videos possible. So all my Patreons can find the link to the cut file on my Patreon account, patreon.com/realmartingray. And if you're not a Patreon, just check it out. And if you want the cut file without being a Patreon, just check the video description underneath the video. There will be a link to the cut file so you can cut this pencil shooter yourself and have some fun. And yeah, again, thanks to my Patreons, you make this fun project possible. That's super cool because without you, that won't happen. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.